Jai Jinendra. Today we are going to talk about a subject which everyone has experienced, dreams. Everyone has dreams. This subject has been of interest since ancient times, and we find quite a lot of information in different philosophies. Acharya Kanaknandi has written a book, this one, Swapna Vigyan, the science of dreams. And this book gives information on the subject of dreams in various philosophies. It talks of Shubh and Ashubh, that is good and bad indicator dreams. Dreams indicating the birth of a Tirthankar, then dreams in Ayurveda, dreams in Bauddha Darshan, dreams in psychology, and so on. So it's a good book. But basically, all these philosophies rather interpret the dreams. We have various kinds of dreams, and how to interpret, what do the dreams mean. That has been of interest since ancient times. But what we are going to talk in this lecture is about the scientific aspects of dream, how the dreams takes place, what happens in the body in the dreams, what happens in the mind during dreams, and so on. So we will first start with dreams in Jain philosophy, in Jain philosophical perspective. The first thing is that you must have sleep in order to have dream. So sleep is due to rise of sleep perception of obscuring karma, as far as Jain philosophy is concerned. This karma being of fully obscuring kind, the perception of the soul is obscured in sleep. That is the first thing, that because of the rise of this particular karma, the perception is obscured and the cognition activity is suspended. You don't have a cognition activity during dreams. The soul does not acquire any new knowledge, but intuition is possible. You can have intuition, which may relate to your present or even future. The intelligence of the soul is still working. Only perception is obscured, but the intelligence, the Jnanavarniya karma, is still working. And the intellect is functional. Soul can make decisions, because the intellect is working, decisions can be made during dreams. Past memories are accessed in the dream state. As we know that the past memories are stored in bhava mind, and these memories can be accessed during dreams, and they are available to mind for further activity or further action. Deluding karma is also in action. That karma has not been obscured, and the soul experiences the effects of patience and quasi-patience. We know the conduct deluding karma has patience and quasi-patience. So the effects of these attributes of the soul or the karma are being experienced. So soul can have emotions of anger, ego, deceit, greed, laughter, indulgence, dissatisfaction, sorrow, fear, disgust, and sex. All these kinds of emotions are possible in the dreams because these karmas are not fully obscured. Then leshyas are also working in the dream state, and these leshyas produce different kinds of bhav and feelings. So all this is possible in the dream state. Working of senses is suspended in the dreams. Your senses are not working, and all activities are merely mental and also vocal in some cases. So in the most of the time, it is the mental activity which is going on. But sometimes you can utter some words or speak something. So the vocal phenomena or vocal processes can also happen during dreams. There is no communication of information from senses to mind, but reverse can take place. So no information is going from senses to mind because senses are not working, but information can flow from mind to senses. In this case, sense organs can act according to information received from mind. So sense organs can act without any cognition activity. Of course, the cognition is not taking place, but otherwise the sense organs can act. For example, your eye can have some kind of activity, as we'll discuss little later. Contact with the external world is lost, because senses are not working, so you are not in contact with anything outside. And activities of the soul are based on internal inputs only. Whatever inputs the soul has, because of working of karma, that is possible. However, it is possible for the speech system and the limbs to act, as I told you, that some of the senses, the information is flowing from mind to senses, and therefore you can speak. The speech is possible, and your limbs can act. Your hands, your legs, these can move during dreams also. But this is unconsciously. You are not conscious of these activities if they are going on. And this happens because the information is received from mind. So mind can control these activities, and your limbs can move. You can move your hands and do something unconsciously, and probably not very meaningful. Or there are some people who can walk during dream. So your legs are working. But that also happens unconsciously, remember. In the absence of external contacts, soul acts in a way as if no one is observing. So in the conscious state, all your activities take place, keeping in view who is watching you, or something like this. But in the dream state, this does not happen. So no one is watching you. Your soul thinks that no one is watching you. The actions of the soul now may be in contrast with those performed consciously in the waking state. So your actions in the dream or thinking in the dream is a little different than the thinking in the conscious waking state. Because as I told you, conscious waking state means you are conscious that somebody is observing you. Mind can construct a story based on past memories, and this may be meaningful or absurd. So some kind of story is going on in the dream, because mind is working. But because of the lack of consciousness that way, because you are not acting consciously, and therefore these stories or whatever is going on in the dream may be meaningful or absurd. In the dream state, intuition power of the soul is functional, it is working. So you can have intuition, and therefore insight into your present or even in your future. And it can produce some meaningful results, because intuition is the power of the soul. So soul is working, So this is possible during dreams, and it happens to many people. It is possible for the soul to have new insight and vision, sometimes of the divine type, And for this to happen, mind and brain must be in a relatively calm state, calm position, So mind must be calm, your brain must be quiet, and then you can have intuition or insight of a divine type. Otherwise, other kinds of insights which are not divine is of course possible. During the period of early sleep, digestion system is generally working at high level, and the brain is also engaged in this activity. So when you go to bed, in the early period, if you have dream, at that time your digestion system is working, brain is working, engaged with the digestion system and so on. So the dreams which you have in this kind of dreams, or the dreams which you have may not have a meaningful information. So mind, brain and body activities are expected to be low during the later part of the sleep, when the digestion system has completed its function, then your body is relaxed, your mind is relaxed, your brain is relaxed. So at that time, if you have a dream, the dream can be meaningful. This is the time when intuition power is least obstructed, and the soul may have meaningful dreams containing some useful indications and hints of a practical significance in life, So you dream something, which is meaningful or may have a value in your life. When this happens, soul may get glimpse of future events also. So it's possible to see future or future event in the dream under such conditions. But such indications are not direct. These are in the form of some images and events, and these had to be interpreted by experts to know its real significance or real meaning in life. You don't see the future directly, or you don't see the events happening in the dreams directly as this is going to happen in your life. No. There is some kind of relation between what you see in dreams and what will happen in your life. But it's not direct. It's an indirect way of information, an indirect way of knowing things or awakening. So these are you see some image or you see some event happening in the dream, and if you can interpret it correctly, you can probably predict what is going to happen. And this is what is the whole literature in the ancient texts is about. The ancient texts only talk of what different kinds of dream you see. Of course, in the period which I just now stated, that is in the later part of sleep, and how to interpret these dreams, so that they predict the future events or predicts events in your life. And this particular science was well developed in the ancient times. There were experts available who could interpret your dreams and tell you this is going to happen to you in your life. This was possible. So this science was highly developed in the ancient times. There are many instances of futuristic projections in the life of individuals. Many instances can be found. One famous example is the mother Trishula, the mother of Mahavira, had 14 or 16 dreams. There are two different views and two different traditions. One tradition, Svatambara tradition, says that she had 14 dreams, and Digambara tradition says that she had 16 dreams. When the soul of Mahavira was conceived by Trishla, Trishla had these dreams, in the early period, in the last period of night. These dreams were interpreted by experts, predicting birth of a great personality or a great soul like Tirthankar. So these dreams were interpreted, The mother Trishla was very hopeful that she has seen some good dreams, So she told her husband, the king, and the king, invited experts and asked them, requested them to interpret, what the Trishla had seen. And the prediction was that, a great child, a great soul like Tirthankar has taken birth. Dreams have been studied by modern psychology and science, and we will briefly go through these studies. Dreams in science and psychology. A dream is said to be a succession of images, ideas, emotions, and sensations that usually occur involuntarily in the mind during certain stages of sleep. So the science only talks of what is happening, without going into the reasons why this is happening. So they say that, during dreams you have images, some ideas, emotions, you have sensations in your mind involuntarily during the sleep time. Most modern dream study focuses on the neurophysiology of dreams and on proposing and testing hypotheses regarding dream function. What scientists can do is to study the body process, neurophysiology, what is happening in your brain when you are dreaming. And that's what they can do. They cannot go into the deep behind the reasons, why this is happening. This is not possible for science. It's not known where the brain dreams originate. So they only examine the brain, different parts of the brain. And then they say that, okay, we are not sure, where the dreams are originating in the brain. Is there a single origin for dreams, or is a multiple regions of the brain are involved? So they do not know whether it's a single region or multiple regions of brain are involved in the dream, or what the purpose of dreaming is for the body and mind. They are also not very sure what these dreams are doing, to your body and to your mind. In 1953, gentlemen Aseriski and Gleichmann published the paper establishing rapid eye movement, REM it is called, and this was an important discovery as far as science is concerned. So the scientists found that during dreams your eyes are moving, but this does not happen in all the dreams. Some dreams, this phenomena takes place, that is your rapid eye movement, REM, this happens during dreams, but there are dreams where this does not happen. This person Kelvin Hall, in a long period of study, 1940s to 1985, collected more than 50,000 dream reports. There's a gigantic task, reports of 50,000 dreams at Western Reserve University. And in 1966, Hall and Robert published the contents analysis of it. They published a book, based on their study. And it was found, this is the general conclusion of the study, it was found that participants from varying parts of the world demonstrated similarity in their dream content, So, taking a global picture, they say that, people experience similarity in their dream content. In this study, the most common emotion experienced in dreams was anxiety. So, commonly people experience anxiety in the dream. Other emotions included abandonment, anger, fear, joy, and we already discussed about it in Jain philosophical perspective, and happiness. Negative emotions were much more common than positive ones, So you most of the time have negative emotions in dreams. The visual nature of dreams is generally highly phantasmagoric, that is, different locations and objects continuously blend into each other. So that there is no systematic arrangement of the images and the other information which we have in dreams. It is haphazardly connected. So some object may be connected to some other place, where it does not really is there, but it connects it and so on. The visuals, including locations, people and objects, are generally reflective of a person's memories and experiences. So this is what they found, that whatever you see or in your dream is connected to your memory in some way, your past memory. But conversation can take on highly exaggerated and bizarre forms, So if you are conversing in dreams, this could be anything. It's a highly exaggerated and bizarre forms. So it could be absurd or meaningless, Some dreams may even tell elaborate stories wherein the dreamer enters entirely new, complex worlds and awakes with ideas, thoughts and feelings never experienced prior to the dream. Sometimes this may happen, you can see something or you can experience something which you had never seen in your life earlier. And when he wakes up, he has some ideas or thoughts and feelings which he never experienced in his life. This is, according to Jain philosophy, is because of the past life memories, We have past life memories, which we are not aware of, and they appear in the dream. So this is what is happening. Studies detect an increase of blood flow in a specific brain region and then credit that region with the role of generating dreams. This is what the scientists can do. They find that there is some part of the brain which has higher blood flow rate, and they think, okay, this is the part which is generating dream. But this, of course, we know is not true. By pooling study results, has led to the newer conclusion that dreaming involves large number of regions and pathways. So it's not only one region of the brain, many regions, and their network, their pathwork is responsible for dreams. This is what now the scientists think, and which likely are different from different events. So this network and the parts which are active during dream could be different in different dreams. So no general conclusion can be drawn. Some theories have been put forward to explain why dreams take place. So this is a good development. Robert, 1886, in 19th century, a physician from Hamburg, was first who suggested that dreams are a need and that they have the function to erase. So at that time he was of the view that look here, the dreams have a role to play and they erase your memory. This is what he thought. Erase what? He says the sensory impressions, that were not fully worked up. So those sensations or impressions, which were not fully developed, are being erased, number one. And number two, ideas that were not fully developed. So underdeveloped ideas also being erased. That's what he says. Then we know of Freud. What Freud did, he of course had a very extensive study of dreams, not explaining how or why dreams, why humans dream. Of course, he does not go into this aspect of why the dreams take place or how the dreams takes place. He only interpreted. He disputed Robert's hypothesis and proposed that dreams preserve sleep by representing as fulfilled those wishes that otherwise would awake the dreamer. So he was of the view that it's not something which is being erased. Rather, your sleep is being prolonged so that you have a dream. Okay, and otherwise, you will awake. If you don't have a dream, you will awake. Otherwise, if you have a dream, probably you have a longer sleep. This is what he said. One study found that most people believe that their dreams reveal meaningful hidden truths. So they believe that the dreams are revealing something which is meaningful in their life. They found that 74% of Indians, 65% of South Koreans, and 56% of Americans believed their dream content provided them with meaningful insight into their circumstances or into their unconscious beliefs and desires. So many people think that the dreams are really good, it's meaningful, and give them some hint and indication of things which are useful in life. The study also found that people attribute more importance to dream content than to similar thought content that occurs while they are awake. And this is something very interesting. The people think that, look here, whatever you see in the dreams probably contains or has more meaning than what you are seeing in the wake up state. Something normally cannot be believed, accepted, but this is the belief people have. We see that there is a wide difference in approach to explain dreams in Jain philosophy and modern psychology and science. So now we have discussed the various aspects of dreams, the Jain philosophical aspects, the scientific aspects, and the psychological aspect, and there is nothing common. There is a wide difference between approaches of all these branches of knowledge. The former regards dreams as a state of the soul. In Jain philosophy, it is very, very clear. Who sees the dream? It is the soul, not the body and the brain. So the soul is important from the Jain philosophical point of view. So the soul dreams, and the soul then produces actions, and the soul is dreaming because of actions of karma that way, and the later is trying to find its origin in the brain. So science and philosophy, the psychology, are trying to find that the dreams originate in the brain. Whereas it actually does not happen. It is in the soul that the dreams originate because of effect of karma. Both approaches admit that emotions and are experienced in dreams. So we have emotions, of different kinds. This is accepted by philosophy as well as science. And Jain philosophy explains it on the basis of karma and leshya. but modern philosophy and science has no satisfactory basis of explanation. Although dreams have been studied in detail, in science, they only study what is happening, rather than going into the reasons why this is happening and how this is happening. So the scientific study is, of course, limited to a specific aspect of dreams, whereas the Jain philosophy presents a complete view, how dreams take place, why dreams take place, and what happens in the dreams, what kind of insight or indication or hints the dreams are giving, and so on. So, I discussed with you today an important experience of our life, dreams, and how these dreams take place and how they are interesting, how this particular study is interesting, and how this study give projections of future events, as we know by dreams Mother Trishna had, and so also the mothers of all Tirthankars, right from the Rishabhdev to Mahavira. Thank you.